Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Common English Mistakes. Don't just learn, improve. So today we're going to look at something which came up in a lesson of mine, the verbs for when people take things as a crime. This often causes a bit of confusion because English has two verbs where other languages have just one. We'll also look at more specific verbs for different situations where people take things, as well as the associated nouns for each. Finally, there will be some fun phrases and language along the way. So anyway, the mistakes are up here. One of those sentences is completely wrong. The other is technically wrong, but something people say in informal situations. See if you can tell which is which and correct the sentences. And well done if you said, someone robbed me on holiday and they stole my phone. So rob and steal essentially mean the same thing. Take things illegally as a crime, but always remember, rob people or places, steal things or money. That's the rule, and I would generally use it and stick to it. However, in informal, colloquial language, especially in the UK, people do sometimes say, someone robbed my phone. Generally, again, though, I would always say, someone stole my phone. So that being said, just complete these two sentences with the appropriate verb. And well done if you said a gang robbed the bank yesterday, rob a place, and they stole $1 million, steal money. And often we're going to use these in the passive, be or get, robbed or stolen, because it's more important to talk about the things which are taken rather than the person who commits the crime. So just pause the video, think what is taken in each of these sentences and complete them with the appropriate passive verb. And well done if you said for the first one, the car is gone, it has been stolen. If someone steals something from your car, I would generally say be or get broken into. And if someone steals something from your hotel room, that's a place. Our hotel room was robbed. So we have the verb to rob, the passive be or get robbed, robbery, uncountable, which is the general concept of the crime, a robbery, countable, which is one individual crime, and we will see this relationship a lot with the other nouns, and a robber, which is the person who commits the crime. They're in the example sentences there. Just take a moment to make sure you understand each one. And with rob, there are a couple of fun bits of language you can use. Firstly, daylight robbery, uncountable, to talk about very high or unfair prices. $10 for a coffee, that's daylight robbery. And if your sports team loses and you think there were unfair decisions, you can use the passive. We were robbed in yesterday's match. So moving on, again, we use steal when people take things illegally as a crime, but also without permission. She stole a chip from my plate. Obviously, that's not a crime, but I didn't say she could. We have the passive, be or get stolen. Stealing, uncountable, but this isn't the crime. This is the general concept of taking things without permission or illegally. So, for example, parents teach kids that stealing is wrong. Again, just take a moment to look at those sentences, make sure you understand each one. And again, a nice bit of language associated is a steal, countable, for when you find something very cheap or a bargain. And I generally use it in that phrase, what a steal. So the crime for when someone robs is robbery, although generally I would only use that with bank robbery, like that example I gave you. There are no nouns associated with the verb steal. Generally, we use theft. So again, theft, uncountable, is the general concept of the crime. Often we put a word like car or phone before it to be more specific. Theft countable is the individual cases of this crime, and thieves, plural, are the people who commit the crime. Again, just take a moment to look at the sentences, make sure you understand them. So those are the most important things to remember. Rob, people or places. Steal, things or money. Generally, you and the people you know aren't going to be the criminals, you're going to be the victims, so use them in the passive. And although robbery does exist as a crime, generally you want to use theft or thieves to talk about the crime or the criminals. So let's now look at 3 more specific verbs to talk about when people take things in different situations. Just pause the video, look at the sentence, think about the context and what burgle, pickpocket and mug mean. And well done if you said burgle refers specifically to when someone robs a house, home or apartment. Pickpocket for when someone steals something from your person without you knowing or realizing, often from your back pocket. And finally, mug for when someone threatens you to rob you. Hey, give me all your money. So then looking at the complete word families, we have burgle, the verb, be or get burgled, passive, burglary, uncountable, the crime, burglary countable, the specific case, and a burglar, the person. Then to pickpocket, the verb, be or get pickpocketed, passive, pickpocketing, uncountable, the crime. There is no countable equivalent here, you just use theft. And a pickpocket, the person. And finally, to mug, the verb, be or get mugged, passive, mugging, uncountable, the crime, mugging countable, individual cases, and a mugger, the person. So anyway, explanation over. As ever, guys, if you're watching these videos for free, I'd say that's an absolute steal. So in return, if you could like, subscribe, share the videos with your friends, it would be much appreciated. Anyway, when you're ready, let's practice and improve. Just pause the video, look at these sentences, think about the context, and put a bit of language from today's lesson into the gaps. Verb, passive, noun, etc. And well done if you said you need to go to the police station to report a theft. Could also use other things like robbery, but theft is much more natural. Kids often steal things from each other. Either it's a crime or just take things without permission. Muggers often carry a knife. Then you should always lock your front door to avoid being or getting burgled. People in my city often get pickpocketed on the number 28 tram. It's very beautiful, but do be careful. And if you get robbed, you should cancel your bank cards immediately. So now just pause the video and write, say, or discuss the same sentences for you. And finally, today's question. As it's a bit of a heavy subject, let's be a bit more positive When was the last time you found an absolute steal? A really good price for something? Write your answers in the comments. Anyway, that's basically it for today. Make sure you remember the most important things: rob, people or places; steal, things or money; theft or thieves, to talk about the crime or people; and then those more specific ones for different situations. If you do that, you're going to be much more accurate. Other than that, I'll see you for another video in the next couple of days. So until next time, see ya.